Hey guys, and welcome back. Welcome back to more Mass Effect. Yay! So I think we're just gonna hop right back into where we last left off, where we were on the Citadel for the first time, and getting ready to just kind of go around and get acquainted with our surroundings. So yep, just pop right back in here. First off, if you guys have been keeping up with the channel, if you've been keeping up with this series in particular, thank you very much. If you're new to the channel, I've got a bunch of videos on things like Sea of Thieves, PUBG, Forza, it's all right there. It's pretty good. I think it's all right, so you should check it out if you don't hate me. So here we are, guys, back on the Citadel, and if you are unfamiliar with these games or haven't been keeping up with this series, just to recap, the Citadel is a massive space station that serves as kind of the center for the galactic community. And this is the human embassy, so this is like where our ambassador resides. Usually he's not here right now. He's kind of a dick. We don't really like Udina that much. And then over here we've got a smaller embassy that is shared.
I understand what you're saying.
We've got these big guys are called Elcor, and this little guy right here is a Volus. And the Volus is looking kind of put off.
EarthClan, you are in the wrong place, I think. Your ambassador is next door in the large office.
Oh, your ambassador is next door.
Chastising remark. Don't be so rude, Din.
I love the
At
Elcor.
least introduce yourself.
I am Din Korlak, Volus ambassador. Is there something I can do for you, EarthClan?
This guy doesn't seem to really be interested in talking to humans, so we're gonna pester him.
What is this place?
You are in the embassy for the Volus and the Elcor.
Your ambassador is next door, in his own office.
In this shared space, I aid my fellow Volus when I'm not being interrupted.
Well, we're gonna keep interrupting you.
I'd like to know more about the Volus.
I'm sure our history and culture would bore you, EarthClan.
Can you imagine, though, if someone just walked up to you and was like, "Can you tell me about your history and culture?" Let's just prod.
Actually, I would like to know more about your history.
Yeah.
My people came to the Citadel shortly after the Asari and Solarians had discovered it. We were instrumental in establishing a standardized galactic economy. However, despite our long association with the Citadel and our many contributions to galactic society, we still do not hold a seat on the Council.
And he seems pretty salty about it.
Tell me about Volus culture.
We are tribal by nature, but our ways are not violent. We barter and trade our lands and tribe members in order to increase status. Larger tribes often engulf smaller ones and eventually split again. Our society is very malleable, and our government is always shifting and changing. Since we're not physically adept, we trade our services for protection.
So basically, they trade their skills with money and commerce for a little bit of extra muscle.
What is it you do here?
I look out
So
for the
much
best
exposition.
interests of the Volus people. No easy task considering how often we are overlooked by the Council.
Chastising rebuke, Din. The Council favors your species greatly.
You are naive. The EarthClan will be invited to the Council long before our species will.
But why do you say that?
Why aren't the Volus or Elcor part of the Council?
All species must prove themselves before they join the Council. All but the EarthClans, it would seem.
Dismissive. Ignore the Volus ambassador, human. He is incorrect in his assessment.
Really? How long have we been waiting? How long do you think we'll continue to wait? Bah, this talk is wasted on the humans.
Bah! He really wants no part of us.
Goodbye, Ambassador.
Yeah, goodbye indeed.
Yes, yes. Good day, EarthClan.
So, I think we'll, nah, screw
Greetings,
it. We'll talk to the
greetings.
Elcor right now.
Human, it is always good to see your kind.
See, this guy's alright.
I am Ambassador Kalen. Genuine query. Is there something I can do for you this day?
Now, this is an interesting little tidbit of information right here.
Why do you explain what you're about to say?
Our people communicate less through words and more through scent and slight movements.
They're so boring,
Plainly,
but it's great.
we discovered our vocal expression was not enough to convey the feelings of our conversations to other species.
Why do you bother, Kalen? These Earth Clan don't really care about our ways.
Remorseful response, Din.
That's why I'm asking.
You don't truly believe that, and if you do, I am very sorry for you.
Everyone watching at home interested about figuring out about their culture and stuff?
Tell me
Really,
more
guy?
about your
Okay.
species.
Genuine enthusiasm. I delight in telling the history of my people. It is agreeable to share our culture with others.
So he's just like, this guy's an open book compared to that
Tell me about
Volus.
the history and origins of the Elcor.
The Elcor were just beginning to explore Council space when the Asari first made contact with us.
I bet they were surprised.
With their help, we discovered the relay closest to our system, and from there the Citadel. Proudly, within one lifetime we established a regular route to the Citadel.
Just look at their faces.
And quickly became one of the more active species living on this great station.
I'd like to know more about the culture of the Elcor.
Frankly, we Elcor prefer the safety and familiarity of our own colonies to the confines of space travel. Our society is built on small, tight-knit groups, though we are always welcoming to outsiders. Our government tends to be very stable. Our people are not
Surprising
very
no one.
comfortable with sudden changes.
Also surprising, no one uncomfortable with sudden changes. We don't really need to ask what he does here. He's
Goodbye,
an ambassador. Just
And
like our
see you
ambassador, just
farewell.
like Din here.
Good day to you, human.
Here's a
Enjoy
keeper.
your time on the Citadel.
These guys are really interesting later on in the story. We can't really interact with them right now, but that'll change. So guys, this episode, I don't know how to put an air freshener on this. This particular episode might be kind of boring to some people. Now, if you're interested in sci-fi hoopla, then by all means, or if you're interested in this game at all, like, feel free to stick around. But it's not going to be a lot of action in this particular episode. If I can put a timestamp or a link in the description to the point where we get back out into the gun battles, or like the actual like conflict, so to speak, then we will.
To the Presidium.
But-
Allow me to be your guide.
So, but for those of you who are still here, first off, again, thank you. Second off, just as a quick recap, we went to a human colony to start the game out to recover an ancient piece of alien technology from a group of aliens that disappeared 50,000 years ago called the Protheans. That technology was almost stolen and was then basically like abandoned by this other Turian named Saren. He killed our Turian friend, well, friend's a pretty loose term, I guess, and then got what he wanted from the beacon and fled. And really, we only have an eyewitness testimony from someone else telling us about Saren. I mean, like, we saw it happen, but Shepard himself hasn't seen Saren's sort of treacherous ways. And we've come back to the Citadel to sort of contest that Saren is, first off, no good, and second off, that humanity is at risk. And the Council doesn't really sound like they're leaning in our favor, but we might be able to convince them with some careful words. So this area, real quick here, is called the Presidium. And it's sort of like, it's the ring at the bottom of the Citadel. And then there are, like, so if you've got the ring at the bottom, then there are 5 branches called wards that come up off of this ring. And the bottom of the Citadel, the Presidium, is sort of like where, like, the center, it's where the richest live and where the politicians do business. And we'll dig into that later on. Can't really avoid it. We're going to get to know the Citadel pretty well, and I think it's a really interesting hub to base the game around. We're going to come back here, and it'll change over time. We'll see it from different angles, and there will be different things that can happen here. So we've gone up to the tower, which is where the Council, who are like the highest of like government officials, sort of reside. And here we've got somebody named Garrus.
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the Council? Don't be ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
Commander Shepard, Garrus Vicarian. I was the officer in charge of the C-Sec investigation into Saren.
And he seems like he thinks he's got something on it.
Who were you just talking to?
That was Executor Palin, head of Citadel Security, my boss. He'll be presenting my findings on Saren to the Council.
Sounds like you really want to bring him down.
I don't trust him. Something about him rubs me the wrong way. But he's a Spectre. Everything he touches is classified. I can't find any hard evidence.
I think the Council's ready for us, Commander.
Good luck, Shepard. Maybe they'll listen to you.
And maybe we'll see Garrus again. He's a pretty alright guy. So, this place compared to the rest of the Citadel in Mass Effect 1, this place has a pretty regal feeling about it. See what these guys think.
You sure have to climb a lot of stairs to reach the Council. I think that's supposed to be symbolic of their importance.
I bet all these staircases aren't just for show. They make for good defensive positions if this place...
Don't be ridiculous. The Volus won't be joining the Council for years.
I'm not so sure. The humans are making a strong push, and you can bet the Volus will be right on their coattails if they succeed.
A little bit of political conversation going on about the sway of power. There's a keeper that looks broken. I don't know if keepers are machines or organic or both. I mean, probably both. And there's Captain Anderson.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
Here we go. Showtime.
The Geth attack is a matter of some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
The investigation by Citadel Security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
An eyewitness saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
We've read the Eden Prime reports, Ambassador. The testimony of one traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof.
I resent these accusations. Nihilus was a fellow Spectre and a friend.
That just let you catch him off guard.
Captain Anderson, you always seem to be involved when humanity makes false charges against me. And this must be your protege, Commander Shepard, the one who let the beacon get destroyed.
Well, I don't want to accuse him. I don't just want to point fingers, because that would make us look bad.
The mission to Eden Prime was top secret. The only way you could know about the beacon was if you were there.
With Nihilus gone, his files passed on to me. I read the Eden Prime report. I was unimpressed. But what can you expect from a human?
That is pretty racist.
Saren despises humanity. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Your species needs to learn its place, Shepard. You're not ready to join the Council. You're not even ready to join the Spectres. He has no right to say that.
Back off, guy.
That's not his decision.
Shepard's admission into the Spectres is not the purpose of this meeting.
This meeting has no purpose. The humans are wasting your time, Counselor, and mine.
You arrogant bastard!
Saren's hiding behind his position as a Spectre. You need to open your eyes.
What we need is evidence. So far, we've seen nothing.
There is still one outstanding issue. Commander Shepard's vision. It may have been triggered by the beacon.
Here we go.
Are we allowing dreams into evidence now?
It's a fair
How
point.
can I defend my innocence against this kind of testimony?
Like, really?
I agree. Our judgment must be based on facts and evidence, not wild imaginings and reckless speculation.
Do you have anything else to add, Commander Shepard?
I mean, it doesn't sound like we're doing much
You've
good.
made your decision. I won't waste my breath.
The Council has found no evidence of any connection between Saren and the Geth. Ambassador, your petition to have him disbarred from the Spectres is denied.
I'm glad to see justice was served.
So that didn't
This
really get
meeting
us
is
anywhere.
adjourned.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't outright dismissive of us, but we didn't have... It's, you know, we know Saren is guilty of this, but we have virtually nothing to prove it yet. We don't know if there's proof.
It was a mistake bringing you into that hearing, Captain. You and Saren have too much history. It made the Council question our motives.
That's
I
interesting.
know Saren.
Oh, you do?
He's working with the Geth for one reason. To exterminate the entire human race. Every colony we have is at risk. Every world we control is in danger. Even Earth isn't safe.
Well, let's figure this out.
Tell me about this history between you and Saren.
I worked with him on a mission a long time ago. Things went bad. Real bad. We shouldn't talk about this here. But I know what he's like. And he has to be stopped.
What's our next step?
As a Spectre, he's virtually untouchable. We need to find some way to expose him.
What about Garrus, that CSEC investigator? We saw him arguing with the Executor.
That's right. He was asking for more time to finish his report. Seems like he was close to finding something on Saren.
Well, I mean, you could outright be dismissive of him just because he is also a Turian, like Saren, but...
Any idea where we could find him?
I have a contact in CSEC who can help us track Garrus down. His name is Harkin.
Forget it. They suspended Harkin last month, drinking on the job. I won't waste my time with that loser.
Don't worry about it.
I don't want the Council using your past history with Saren as an excuse to ignore anything we turn up. Shepard will handle this.
You can't just cut Captain Anderson out of this investigation.
The Ambassador's right. I need to step aside.
Okay.
I need to take care of some business. Captain, meet me in my office later.
I think we're going to pick Captain Anderson's brain a little bit.
Harkin's probably getting drunk at Cora's Den. It's a dingy little club in the lower section of the wards.
Maybe there's another way to find evidence against Saren.
You should talk to Barla Vaughn over in the financial district. Rumor has it he's an agent for the Shadow Broker.
The Shadow Broker?
An information dealer. Buys and sells secrets to the highest bidder. I've heard Barla Vaughn's one of the top representatives. He might know something about Saren, but his information won't come cheap.
Yeah,
you and Saren have a history. What happened?
About 20 years ago, I was part of a mission in the Skillian Verge. I was working with Saren to find and remove a known terrorist threat.
Sounds simple enough.
Saren eliminated his target, but a lot of people died along the way. Innocent people. And the official records just covered it all up. But I saw how he operates. No conscience. No hesitation. He'd kill 1,000 innocent civilians to end a war without a second thought.
Killing innocents doesn't end wars. It causes them.
I know how the world works, Commander. Sometimes you're forced to make unpleasant decisions. But only if there's no other way. Saren doesn't even look for another option. He's twisted, broken. He likes the violence, the killing. And he knows how to cover his tracks.
See what he thinks about the Council and their relationship with our ambassador.
Doesn't seem to get along with the Council.
He's just frustrated. The Council's always preaching that we need to be part of the galactic community. But for them, it's a one-way street. They want us to expand and settle unstable regions like the Skillian Verge and the Attican Traverse. But when we run into trouble, they don't want to help us out. Everyone knows it's only a matter of time until we get a seat on the Council. The Ambassador just thinks it should happen sooner rather than later. And I agree.
Well, you know, we entered the community on a violent note. We basically started a very short, but a war, nonetheless, with a short war with the Turians, who are one of the Council species with the strongest military presence in the galaxy. Maybe we haven't earned a spot yet, as far as they're concerned. I try to see things from the perspective. I try to see things from the perspective of the Council. I know a lot of. I think the majority of Mass Effect's fan base hates the Council. Like, I don't hate them. I definitely wish they would listen more, but
maybe they'd let us join the Council if we were more willing to cooperate with the other species.
Shepard gets it.
Of course they would. If we did everything they told us to, they'd love to have us on the Council. But it wouldn't be much of a deal for us.
Also a good point.
I understand their side. They don't want us dominating the Council. It's founded on cooperation and alliances. But we have to look out for our own interests too.
Not to mention having 4 Council members does sound kind of lopsided.
You don't think much of Harkin.
The guy joined CSEC about 20 years ago. He's been an embarrassment to our species ever since. Roughing up suspects in custody, bribery accusations, alcohol and drug use. The embassy used to step in when he got in trouble. But I guess enough was enough.
The guy's a scumbag. He should have been cut loose a long time ago.
He was one of the first human CSEC officers. Guess it would have looked bad if he got fired. A lot of backroom deals were worked out over the years to keep him on the force. Politics is a dirty business sometimes, but it looks like his time's run out. We've got enough humans in C-Sec now to stop protecting him.
I want to know more about the Spectres.
Yeah.
They're not your typical government agency. They tend to work alone, behind the scenes. They take care of problems the Council can't. It's not easy preserving peace across an entire galaxy. The Council prefers to use diplomacy and negotiation. But sometimes more extreme measures are needed.
But you know something, like, really at the end of the day, if we're being honest, Spectres are just hand-picked mercenaries. Because Spectres get paid for, like, everything that they do. And they're very well funded because they've got the Council behind them. So...
They sound like shadow operatives.
Everything about them is classified. We don't even know how many there are. The latest Alliance estimate puts their numbers under 100.
Not much.
But the Council couldn't do its job without them. They're the Citadel's top agents, the last line of defense, the final option before open war. The entire galaxy respects and fears them. If a Spectre shows up, you know something big is about to happen.
What happens when a Spectre goes rogue, like Saren?
It doesn't happen often. The Council is careful when they select their candidates. But when something does go wrong, there's usually only one solution. Send another Spectre to bring the rogue agent down.
So, Jenkins, R.I.P. Jenkins, he was kind of right. He was kind of right. That is Spectre Justice.
What's their command structure like?
There is no command structure. Each Spectre answers directly to the Council. Sometimes they're sent on specific missions. Other times, they act on their own.
Mercenaries.
They tend to operate outside the law, do whatever it takes to accomplish their goals. The Council just turns a blind eye. Spectres have a lot of power, Shepard.
How do they decide who becomes a Spectre?
You can't just apply to join. There's no training program. Spectres aren't made. They're born. The Council's always looking for exceptional individuals. People who can get the job done, like you. They've been watching you for years. They see something in you. They want you on their side. Nihilus was supposed to give them a final recommendation, but with him gone, things are still up in the air.
Which is unfortunate, but, you know. So let's, call it right there.
I should go.
Good luck, Shepard. I'll be over in the ambassador's office if you need anything else.
So if you guys haven't noticed this already, they do such a good job in this game of setting up the backstory for almost everything. Like, it's incredible. We haven't even, like, looked at the codex yet, and I'm not gonna do this in video. But if you look at this, everything here is, like, an ever-expanding encyclopedia. And what's craziest about it, just listen for a second.
The Asari were the first species to discover the Citadel.
It's narrated. And you've got entries on all of, like, it gets bigger over time as you meet the different races, like council races, extinct races, so you can learn about the Protheans. Then you've got all of the non-council races you've met so far, non-sapient creatures, which those are the husks. And all of these expand and grow as you learn and play through the game more. And so, like, they've done such a masterful job of writing everything in. I really admire it. And it was part of what made this game so interesting to me when I was younger. Because if you wanted information on this world, it was all at your fingertips. And I don't know, if people are interested, if someone says something to me about it, maybe I'll do an episode where we go through the main codex entries there, and just so that, you know, and I'll just, like, let it play maybe even without speaking over it very much. And you know, we'll see. We'll see. It's really interesting stuff, and it's just whenever you have a question about something, it's clear that both sides of the conversation have been covered by the writing team at Bioware, and I'm just endlessly